everyone, so you're probably wondering about the lack of my face, and you're also probably wondering why you can only hear my voice right now. This will probably go on for like 10 or more videos because I'm trying to figure out a permanent set, but that's permanent set meaning like 10 years or something, probably like 1 year for my videos. So that's gonna take a lot of work, but that's not going to cut back on my reviews. So today we're talking about Peter Pan and Wendy. But before I actually review it, I'm going to give you a brief synopsis about what this movie is about. In this movie, you follow the adventures of Peter Pan, a boy who does not want to grow up, and how he recruits 3 siblings in London, and together they embark on a magical adventure on the enchanted island of Neverland. So, reading that synopsis, I went into this movie expecting it to be absolutely atrocious, and I thought it would be almost as bad as the Pinocchio 2022 remake and one of the absolute worst movies of the year so far. I actually walked out of this movie pleasantly surprised. This is far from being a great movie, and it's technically not even a good movie at all, but I still thought it was mildly entertaining enough to keep me on the edge of being interested. And it was much better than I expected it to be. Again, that's not me saying it's a good movie, because after all, I thought it would be horrible, but you get my point. I actually thought Jude Law was a lot of fun in this movie. His performance wasn't incredible, but it was better than a lot of the other performances in this movie. And Captain Hook, he had a very interesting backstory that, everyone knows about, but in this movie, they did an okay job. Not me saying it's a bad job. They just did a fun job, basically, of having Jude Law's character as Hook being slightly interesting towards the end. Unfortunately, I don't think Alexander Maloney, pretty much, I guess Wendy is the main lead, but he is the secondary main lead as Peter Pan. But Alexander, unfortunately, he didn't do a great job, in my opinion. Now, there are 1 or 2 scenes in this movie that actually had me, fairly impressed by how he was able to capture the tone of what the movie was trying to do. But unfortunately, there were so many scenes in this movie where his charisma, it just didn't work. It's something you've seen like a million times in movies before, and it didn't feel correct. Eva Anderson is probably the main lead of the movie as Wendy, and I thought she did a solid job. It wasn't, again, I wouldn't say any of the performances in this movie were incredible, like crazy, but I do think some were more solid than others, and this was sometimes cliche, sometimes conventional, like Alexander, but there weren't as many moments where I was cringing, and there weren't as many moments where I was disturbed by how the acting performance was. So that was, I guess, impressive. And also the Lost Boys storyline I thought was interesting enough. I mean, their performances, again, I don't think the performances are all that great in the movie, but I am a bigger fan of the bear storyline than a lot of people. I thought it was a lot of fun. It's one of the things that actually kept me invested in this movie, and it was just fun seeing the little plot point execute very well. And I thought John and Michael were fun. I mean, they didn't have to do that much with their performance, which is why it wasn't great, but again, I keep saying this about the performances, but they still managed to do the least solid job that they could do, but it was still solid to get into the movie, I guess. So I guess that was fine. And I also think they executed some of these plot points in a way that felt both natural and also unnatural, because there were so many things that I was like, yo, why did you do this? We could have gotten so much more from this storyline and from this conclusion of this storyline, and it just felt like it didn't want to conclude it in a way that felt satisfying, which was sad, because the movie could have been satisfying. I think the ending for Peter and Hook's storyline in general was solid. I like how they ended the movie with, him coming in and saving the day for Hook. And, that storyline, I thought they concluded it in a fun way. So I enjoyed that. And like I said, the bear storyline, probably my favorite storyline of this movie. I know that sounds crazy, but it is. So Yay. Also, if you're wondering why the IMDb score is like a 4.2 or something, yeah, I think that's correct. Let me just look it up right now. Yeah, so the IMDb score is a 4.2, and on Google it's a 1.9 out of 5. So the reason for that is because this movie got review bombed before it even came out. So that was unfortunate because people really seem to hate these movies, like these, spin-off things. So, well, basically remakes, because like all of these seem to get review bombed, which is kind of annoying. But I guess I didn't review bomb it. So if you're one of those people, please explain to me in whatever you want to do. Just please tell me why you did that, because that was kind of annoying. But yeah, I'm gonna give Peter Pan and Wendy 60%. I don't think it was a great movie. I don't think it was a good movie. It was an okay movie. It was a fine experience, but it didn't do anything to really stand out from the other films. So that's why it gets a 60% from me, but generally I had fun with it. And another problem was the performances, but the fact that the movie didn't do anything original was also one of my problems. But again, I still enjoyed it more than most people. Anyway, don't expect to see my face for a while because I have to get the studio set up. But until then, I'll see you guys with my review of The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Bye.